Hey everybody, this is the final video in my crash course in opera stage directing. I'll be taking you through some do's and don'ts for running the rehearsal room today. As always, these do's and don'ts can apply to any kind of directing. I do plan to release more how-to videos on opera and theater as part of my new series called Direct to You here on YouTube, so please make sure you like and subscribe so you can keep up with my channel. Alright, let's start on a positive note with the do's. Do respond specifically and constructively to what performers are showing you in the rehearsal room. In the room, the performers are the ones who are up on their feet, working their butts off to tell a story, hopefully trying new things or taking risks. When they finish a section, jump right in and say something committal that cites specific things they did or didn't do that you responded to or didn't respond to. Don't ask them, "How was that for you?" They may not know because they may have been in the moment. They did their part, and now it's your turn. Do allow your performers time to run the material as much as possible. No matter how astute your notes may be, performers learn just as much, if not more, by being given the opportunity to run the material. They can use this time to gain ownership over it, deepen their relationships with their scene partners, and just practice all the many things they have to do at once as an opera singer. Interrupting them too much in the moment to give notes will put them in their head, and it also spends valuable working time in the rehearsal room. So this is why I've become a fan of email notes, because it allows the performer to digest what I'm saying on their own time and in private, and it also gives me a few hours of remove from the rehearsal room so I can figure out how to express what I'm saying as clearly and concisely as possible. Just make sure you email any sensitive notes individually. Do allow your music director time to run the music in a staging rehearsal. Sometimes, in a staging rehearsal, your music director will ask for 10 to 15 minutes to run something musically. When this happens, my advice is don't be jealous and always grant this time unless it's a very time-sensitive rehearsal like a designer run. 9 times out of 10, the opportunity to just pick the score back up and focus on the music of a section for a short time will make their job easier, and it will also make your job easier because the performers can stop worrying so much about notes and rhythms and be in the moment dramatically. Do treat moments of intimacy in a highly technical manner. Basically, treat love scenes like fight scenes. Always rehearse moments of intimacy in a closed rehearsal first with just your performers and your stage manager. Come up with a series of technical, repeatable, emotionless actions that your performers can feel confident in before you add the emotional juice of the scene back in and before you rehearse the scene in front of the rest of the company. Do a paper tech with your designers and stage manager before tech if possible. This is basically a sit-down theoretical tech discussion where your stage manager can get all of the light and sound cues into their book for further efficiency in tech. But from your point of view and your designer's point of view, it's actually a chance to have conversations about what some of these big design cue-heavy moments are going to look and feel like, so you're all on the same page going into tech. It's a huge time saver and I really recommend it. All right, so now for some things to avoid. Don't get into an argument in the middle of rehearsal with a performer. There's an astute saying that goes, the minute you start an argument with a performer, you've lost. Have sensitive conversations offline with a third party present like a stage manager or a union rep. Most performers just want their perspective to be listened to or to be allowed to try something their way. The more combative you get, the more their defenses will go up and you'll look like the asshole. Don't stage your chorus like a chorus. And by that I mean in perfectly straight choir rows behind the main action, facing out and singing. If you're working with a chorus that maybe has less dramatic experience, find the time to rehearse with just them. Help them develop their characters and just bond as a group and get over their inhibitions. Then go away, do your homework, and be able to give them specific timings, destinations, focus points for the entire time that they're on stage. Don't back down from your vision just because a performer doesn't like it or maybe doesn't quite get it. So if your organizing idea centers on this idea of using the same 4 pieces of found furniture to create all of the settings in the opera, it doesn't make sense to suddenly bring on this random 4-poster bed just because a performer says they'd rather not do their death scene on a table. You're gonna have to work with the performer to come up with a compromise, maybe add some extra pillows or an additional support structure to the table. If you don't, your production will go from being deliberate and intentional to a disorganized mess because you didn't stick to your guns. Don't lose your patience in tech. Tech is the start of a completely new process, which can sometimes sort of feel weird after working up to a certain apex in the rehearsal room. Resist the urge to micromanage your designers and your stage manager. They have a lot of work to do just amongst themselves that sometimes doesn't even involve you, but will benefit your production. All right, so that's it. Thanks so much for watching this series, you guys. If you liked this video, got anything out of it, go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons. Most of all, I hope you take these tips and tricks into your rehearsal room and have a great time.